All right, episode 26. Let's go. How you doing, JJ?
Good, man. It's been, what, a couple weeks now?
Mm-hmm. It's been,
Three?
yeah.
At least 3.
Yeah. Since you've been in here, yeah. It's been a
Yeah.
few.
It was right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Sam's been in here on a few recent, like the last few, though.
Yep.
Did you guys happen to watch the 50th anniversary of hip hop and everything on CBS?
No. I
Come
would have
on.
liked to see that,
How
though.
am I
don't really
supposed
watch
to
TV.
discuss stuff?
I don't really watch TV, so if you want me to watch something, you have to tell me ahead of time. I watched the Jelly Roll documentary the minute it came out.
Yeah, I actually didn't really know what was happening. I turned it on the TV and there was all this music and it was like an award show and it turns out it was like the 50th anniversary of hip hop and they actually had Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff together again for the first time since like the early, like the mid 90s probably.
Right.
Like that's a really crazy.
Before that, actually, even if you're talking about Will Smith, I think.
Do you know who won the first Grammy for Best Rap Performance? Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it got me really thinking about our era and like where we grew up. And I wish that I would have done something to make a bigger impact in our era.
Right.
From our time. When you think about like the classic shows, the music, just so much stuff that came from the 90s, the early 2000s. Because now it's like people sell out really quick now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
how many people are in it for the passion of it? Like, look at
The lack of talent,
at
honestly,
the All-Star
nowadays.
games in sports. Look at the Pro Bowl. Like, people aren't even showing up. The last few Pro Bowls, people were playing like touch football basically. So
Yeah.
they don't even do it anymore. Now
And
they
they're
just do
getting
a
paid
skills
more
competition. Right. They're getting paid crazy now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying less.
Yeah.
Like it's a sign of like how people see things and where we are in the world.
Yeah.
Sports of all kinds. I did just see a stat like about a month ago or whatever. It is like drastically down. Like doesn't matter what sport it is. People, well, for one thing, you can't afford to go to a game anyway.
Right.
And if you got to pay so much extra money to have like the NFL pass, the MLB pass, the NHL pass. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's all about money. It just takes the whole thing out of it.
The passion.
Yeah.
Like David said, the passion out of it.
Yeah. 'Cause,
People they're not doing it because they are in love with doing it anymore.
I mean, they do. They get. I will say one thing though, especially when it comes to football. I mean, their body takes a toll.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with like all these head injuries and everything like that. But
yeah, so we were talking about people and having passion to do stuff.
oh yes, yeah,
That's
that's
where
right where we're at.
yeah.
It's just, and that's where
Well, people don't hold themselves accountable much anymore.
Right.
There's not a lot of discipline. I mean, us even sitting here, we've gone through addiction. We've gone through where we did not hold ourselves accountable and we disrespected ourselves and the people around us during that period.
Right.
and and this is a thing too. It's this is how at least I know who is like, especially since I've gotten sober now. You know who a real friend is, because a real friend is somebody that's not going to always tell you what you want to hear.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I am that friend. I'm that friend that will tell you exactly how it is. And I'm also that friend that's going to stand behind you when shit gets fucked up and everybody else is against you.
Yep.
Like, my buddy was being followed by some guys once, and he's in a wheelchair, and to me it was entrapment, but literally everybody turned their back on him because of it, and I was the only one that was going over to his house and helping him, and And then my buddy just passed away in a car accident on December 1st, and with his 4-year-old daughter, and everybody's just calling him a murderer and a piece of shit, because why would he have his daughter in the front seat of the car? Well, it was a Corvette. They don't have back seats. So that's the only option. And why was he going so fast? Because he was trying to get back with he was in love with his baby mom, and he was trying to get her back, and they just had a great morning together, the three of them. He was in a great mood. He was happy, excited. He was having fun. That's what they did together. That's what him and his daughter did together. They drove fast.
Yeah.
They were probably laughing, and she was probably yelling, "Go faster, Daddy."
Is she? How is the 4-year-old?
She's dead, too.
Real.
It's dangerous.
I'll show
Cars
you
are dangerous.
I'll show you the car.
Where did this happen?
Fall Creek.
It happens so
I
fast.
seen that. Okay, I just seen that on the paper.
You know, we going through what
like a
we're going
week.
through recently too,
Last week.
realizing how fast things
December
happen.
1st, yep.
Jesus.
Yeah,
It's-
let me show you the car.
Right before the holidays too.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. It's devastating before the holidays.
Oh man.
That is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way anybody can survive that, though. You're not going to survive that.
It looked.
No.
It looked.
That's the thing about them sports cars. They are not good in crash. I don't even think that most of them have that good of a crash rating, really.
Right.
They're just meant to be fast and fun, and when you get in an accident, they just disintegrate.
Yep. And unfortunately, the baby's mom, literally, they had mediation on, this happened on Friday. They had mediation on Wednesday. And she asked that they not allow him to pick her up. Like, he could still take her, but he had to either find somebody to give him a ride or get a different vehicle, because she just didn't want her riding in the front seat of that vehicle. 2 days later, they died. That's so sad.
That's really crazy.
And everybody, because I'm standing behind him, everybody's like, "Oh, well, you're a piece of crap. You don't give a shit about the mom. The mom shouldn't have to be doing this, blah, blah, blah." No, you're right.
When
I
did
do.
you say that? You know.
Yeah, I never
people
said
putting
that.
Words in your mouth. Yeah.
And I've been talking to the mom. I talked to her every day for the first week of it, because I wanted to make sure she was okay, and I wanted
Right.
to let her know that I was there, even though we have differences. Her mom and I don't get along, so when something like that happens, you put your differences aside, and
Oh, for sure.
and everybody is all talking crap about him, and yelling basically at her about him, and little do they know, she's grieving for him too. Like, I would be sad if one of my baby dads was killed in a car accident too, even if we were on bad terms.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah, it's just a sad story all around. He recently had gotten pulled over and searched, and he had a bag of blow on him, and it was laced with dope. And so he got possession. So everybody was like, "Oh, he's a meth addict," and
So he just didn't set himself up, and then sillier things happen, and now it looks even worse.
yep.
I'm actually wrong about the Corvette. It says its reliability rating is 76.45, and the average overall rating is 57. So it's actually above an average rating, but I mean,
That car was hit by.
Well, there's, I don't know if you know where County Road D is, or D Bridge, they call it. It's right by, it's like one road
off of
over
12.
from,
I know.
off 12, yep.
Okay.
When you're leaving Fall Creek, to the left, there's a church and a road, and you turn there, and it's really crazy. This gives me the chills just thinking about it. So the little girl who passed away, his name is Evangeline Faith, and the church at the beginning of County Road D is Faith Evangelical Church.
that's crazy.
Isn't it? Yeah. But so it's a bridge going
That
over the
car,
river.
That is just the look of that car. It looked like it'd been through the Ukraine war.
Right.
It almost like melted.
Well, that's where we have to realize how quick things happen. I mean, I've been in 5 accidents myself, and I realize that things happen looks like that, and it's really crazy. Like, unless you've been in accidents, it's hard to understand the seconds that it happens in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then this brings back too. It's like how.
You were in a really bad accident too, weren't you? You got hit pretty hard.
Yeah. Back in October of 2020, I was T-boned.
I've been lucky that none of mine have been
55
bad.
miles an hour. Yep.
Mine have all been 30 or under, thankfully.
Broke my collarbone in 3 places, and yeah. Yep.
Have you ever been in a bad accident?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was sitting in the back seat, and my friend and I, actually, Brandon's baby mama and I,
Oh, really?
were in the back seat of the car, buckled into the same seatbelt, and we were going to turn, and the chick coming behind us wasn't paying attention. She was going 45 and slammed into the back of us. And then Rochelle, actually, we were just talking about her. When she first got her driver's license, she was taking me home. And you remember that road I lived on, that dirt road with all the 90-degree turns?
Yep.
She was going around that first turn and lost control. And
I think I remember that one.
the embankment, we went off the embankment, and it was like a 6-foot drop. And when there was a light pole right there, or electric pole, whatever the hell they are.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Yeah, and her car slammed into it, and I was sitting sideways, so like this, the back of the seat. I was sitting like this because we had a friend in the back seat too. And so when we got in the accident, the pole hit the door right here, so I was literally stuck between the pole and the seat of the car like this.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Yep, and then I remember my mom had just quit smoking. She was like 6 weeks. She hadn't smoked, and Rochelle had a pack of cigarettes, and she knew her dad was gonna. Her dad worked at the car shop, so she knew that her dad was gonna be the one to see her car, and so my mom thankfully got there before anybody else, and she gave her the pack of cigarettes, and my mom smoked the entire pack following the ambulance to Eau Claire.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. But this car accident, it happened with the guy and his daughter. It's a 90-degree corner. And so obviously they had just recently sanded because of the snow. So, and this is something that this dude, like anybody who knew Mike knew that he went fast. Like his mom said that he was into cars when he was 2 years old, and it never stopped. And he always was on his Harley or in a car going fast or doing burnouts or whatever. He was always doing shit like that. So he had done that exact corner doing the exact same thing a million times, and you don't think something's going to happen to you,
Well, that's the thing. The more times you do it, the more chances of the things happening. Like, I think about the curve at my parents' house that I've hit plenty of times at way too fast, but the 3 times that I went around there and there was another car doing the exact same thing in my lane, and we have to do this number to get around each other, and if you do that wrong, it's head on. I've had a few close incidents like that on the back road. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
just
too.
don't think people
I drive more slow nowadays. Like,
When
I don't need to go fast anymore.
When I lived in between...
These things are killing machines.
Right.
And we get our license when we can learn we get our permits when we're 15 and a half. And, these things, and then we're on the interstate going 70 miles an hour. It's just, what's so normal is just so deadly.
Right. I had my license at 16 in January. The first week I got my license, I went in the ditch. I found out what ice was really fast.
Yeah, I thankfully learned how to drive on Lake Altoona. My dad taught me how to drive on the ice when I was like 6.
That's
so
awesome.
I knew how to drive.
Actually.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm doing with my kid. I'm teaching him how to drive every
Right.
winter. I take him out on Lake Altoona, and I sure was a little worried
And
that my
in
car was going to get
Wisconsin,
broke.
too. You got to really...
A lot of snowy days.
Yep.
My ma used to let us drive when we were 12, 13, 14 a little bit too when nobody was around just to get the feel for the car
Well,
and
my
just
dad
know what
and
you're doing.
my dad and all his friends were potheads when I was growing up, and when the wives would send the kids with them to go ice fishing, he would hand me the keys to his truck or the four-wheeler or whatever, and I would go out and whip shitties in the ice racetrack and, literally 6, 7 years old because they wanted to get high and couldn't do it if we were in the ice shack with them. So,
Right.
and my dad had his truck was an old Ford. It wasn't really, like anything. It was rusty. It was nothing special. So there was one time when I lived between Brackett and Allen, my grandma was dying. And I'm sure you remember how close I was with my grandma. I was going over one of the County Road I, those big hills that are there. I was going over one. And I was going 100 miles an hour because my grandma was dying and I needed to get there. And when I went to go up over, there was a UPS truck coming in the middle of the road. And if he wouldn't have moved over slightly, because I slammed on my brakes and there was a road right there, thankfully, so I kind of fishtailed around but if he wouldn't have moved, I would have.
Right.
I literally, my side of the car literally would have hit his front end going 100 miles an hour.
It's crazy the close calls I think that we've had over the years that you're just so
And
thankful.
some that we don't even realize, like that we came this close.
Or you didn't, like you didn't see it, you mean? Or
Yeah.
like somebody like almost hit you, but they seen it and know, but you didn't have any idea. You just about got smoked.
I mean, we
Yeah.
do. We take life for granted. It's just incredible.
So you said that you worked over 70 hours in a week this last week.
Yeah.
So how are you finding balance doing that? I mean, you are going through pause still. How are your symptoms with that?
It's the sleeping part that that's why I'm actually it's coming up. It'll be January 15th. I'm doing a sleep study.
Yeah.
That's my daddy's birthday.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our birthday is January 12th.
Yeah.
Yep. We had the same birthday.
Really?
You
Yep.
sure do.
Cool.
A year apart.
Yep.
Funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because I guess just learning. It.
Have you found like any supplements or anything that help you right now since with what you're doing, you got the whole thing at your fingertips right now.
Yeah, and it's just pretty much there's trial and error at this point right now. But I'm very, very like happy and proud of myself too. It's just the job that it is too.
Mm-hmm.
It's things are really starting. I think God is really starting to reward me for
Right.
Good behavior.
Yep.
How have your pause symptoms been? Like, do you feel like, what month are you in right now?
It's May 19th, so.
Is it month 8?
Now? Yeah, I think I'm in month 8 now.
Nope, 7.
Am I
Is
still in
it?
7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Still, 7 months.
Yeah.
If you can feel good enough to work like that at 7 months, you must be healing. You might be over the peak part of it, because I mean, I was still going up in month 7, month 8. Like, I wasn't feeling better. I wasn't able to work long hours. I wasn't able to function very well.
Oh, it's definitely pushing myself.
Well, that's where I'm kind of worried, though, that you have to find balance with post-acute withdrawal. If you push yourself, you will burn out, and then you won't have any energy left to give.
And the best part about it is it's a vitamin supplement store.
That's what I'm saying. You have it at your fingertips to find answers.
And that's why I just
because you get a deal, don't you?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you're not even paying full price for it.
No, and these are like the real deal. They're not like no generic vitamins or anything like that.
Right.
And I've been such a vitamin, I guess that kind of like connoisseur. It's just kind of like a hobby almost because it's preventative.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, I think so much could prevent people from getting diabetes, from getting high blood pressure, for getting so much.
Right.
And a lot of it is because the American diet is just
Processed
horrible.
food.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's not only that, it's a lot of these vitamins people don't even realize. Like they'll just take a vitamin in the morning with their coffee, not even eat anything
Yeah.
to have it absorb.
Just to try to say that they have a supplement. Just you can't just
Yeah.
constantly supplement stuff either.
And
You
they
have to
don't
put the
even-
real thing in at times.
Right.
And so many people don't even know about prebiotics or probiotics, which that is very important.
Mm.
Right.
And
Yeah. Especially when you're on antibiotics.
that's what I was just gonna say. People don't realize that how bad those are.
Right.
Because
If I take them, they destroy my stomach. I
Yeah,
try to stay
they
away
kill all
from them
the
as much
good
as I can.
bacteria.
Yep. And I
Just
don't
like-
have much to begin with.
no, you've had since I've known you now for like 5-6 years. Yeah, you've had that.
I'm on year 8 of
Yeah.
stomach struggles.
And you know
Damn.
that is when your
Mhm.
stomach aches. It's
Yeah,
just hard.
I remember because you missed Emma's baptism because
Yeah.
that's like right when it started, and she'll be
It
8
was-
next month.
I was
so.
throwing up around 5 days a week back then.
And
Like it was
what is
not.
the main thing that you have? Like, isn't it the lining in your?
The only answer I've ever really gotten is that I have stomach erosion.
Okay, because see,
But other than that, I don't really get any other answers, and there's not a whole lot that I can seem to do for it.
I'm surprised I don't have stomach erosion with all the dope I ate.
That's what I'm
And
saying. That's what
it
I
says
got
that
it
these
because of
symptoms-
cooked pills, like actually like melting them to break the time release, and that
Mhm.
actually changed it, and it ate my stomach. Like,
and this is just it says with people with mild erosive gastritis are often asymptomatic, although some complain of nausea or vomiting, but people with heavy like you, it's like a burning heavy feeling in the pit of the stomach, vomiting, loss of appetite, and weakness.
dude, my stomach so often feels like it is just full of hot sauce.
That's
Like,
weird. Mine
it's
does too,
brutal.
but I don't get sick. Like I don't throw up,
Brooke-
but I feel like that a lot.
Brooke sometimes can tell from like sitting on the couch. She'll be like, "Does your stomach hurt?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." And she'll be like, "I can smell the heat in your stomach." Like that's how hot my stomach gets. And the only thing I can do is it's like I drank a bottle of just
Would
pure hot,
A
like
Meprazole
Valentina or
help, you
something.
think?
Huh?
Like
So
it's for
I
acid
take-
reflux.
I started taking a mild acid reducer in the morning, and that has decreased the symptoms, but they're still there. Sometimes, like this past weekend, I really went through it bad for almost 2 days, which that's not normal. Typically, it's 6 hours, not almost 48. I only threw up for 6, but I had pain for 48, which is weird. So it's been a little bit tricky, but I'm not.
Damn.
A nurse the other day told me though, because I told her I used to throw up 5 days a week, and now it's more like every other week, every third week. It's not like it was. And she said, well, that means at least that your cells are regenerating. It's just it's taking its time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, yeah, and I mean, how long was your drug use?
See, that's what's crazy. I only did the cooked for a year, little over a year.
Well,
I did
But
like,
Enough
still,
to
I'm
iron the
sure
lining
it's-
in your esophagus.
well, I did just
or your
regular
stomach.
like Oxy 5s and 10s without cooking them for like a year and a half.
well,
and
I'm
then
sure
I
they're not
started-
good for your stomach, anyways. You know.
Well, what's interesting is my tolerance didn't even change until I started doing the cooked ones. Like the whole time I just took regular ones, I was able to take one dose for that year and a half all the time, and it lasted the same. It was crazy, but as soon as I started those cooked ones, tolerance went up and up and up.
That's crazy.
Hmm. The only thing I can think is because the oxycodone versus OxyContin is the only thing I can really
Yeah.
think of.
Yeah.
The cooked ones were OxyContin, and I think they were just stronger overall.
Right.
So
Let's see
Yeah,
what
and
I'm
once you
doing.
go up going from oxycodone to OxyContin, just doing that in itself is going up to a stronger dose.
I mean, so many people say it's exactly the same thing, which it pretty much is, but there is a
Without
slight
the
difference.
acetaminophen.
Well, the 5s and 10s, that they often don't have it if it's oxycodone, unless it's a perk, then it does.
Yeah.
But I used to always get the 5s and 10s without it, like the quick release 5s.
I don't remember the 5s. You're talking about OxyContin.
No, codone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they had the 5s, the 512s. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And now the shortage.
My daughter had to go almost 3 weeks without her ADHD
Yep.
medication.
That's crazy.
All because they wouldn't.
My
The
friend's kid, too.
pharmacy would not split. They would not split 10 milligrams.
We were talking.
They would not give her a 10 milligrams to be split without, like, we had to go through the doctor, and the doctor had to prescribe specifically to cut 10s in half.
We were actually talking about this I think last time or the time before too, about the pill shortage and
Yep,
all
we
these
were.
people struggling to
Yeah.
get their pills.
Yep.
Yep.
So you had that happen to you now, where your kid had to wait and they wouldn't split it up because other people were getting different size pills.
Right. We had to have the doctor write a specific prescription for us to get the 10 milligrams to be split in half.
Right. I mean, that makes sense that they just need someone to say you can do this. But then you did get it figured out.
We finally got them. Yeah, after it was like 2.5 weeks that she didn't have them.
That's crazy. Did she have any struggles during that time? Was she
Not-
like mostly all right?
She was
Like-
pretty all right. Yep. I mean, but here's the thing: when she gets to spend time alone with me, when she gets one-on-one time with me, she has like my stomach. Did you hear that?
a little bit.
Probably heard it on the
You
mic.
hungry?
Yeah.
It is lunchtime.
Whenever she gets to spend one-on-one time with me, she seems to act better for like a good chunk of time, about a week, So, and we got to spend from Thanksgiving, like afternoon of Thanksgiving until Saturday afternoon, just her and I, because my son was hunting and my other daughter was with her dad's family.
That's
so,
awesome.
yep. So we got all that time together, and she was phenomenal. I didn't have one issue.
That's good. So even without it, she was able to.
Yeah, and
So does she just need them for like specific tasks, basically?
no,
Or
she
is
needs them
it-
because she's wild.
Okay.
she's
It's not
she's
when
one of those
she's like in
kids that
specific situations that it seems to work better than.
no, she just needs it all the time. She's just a go kid, and yeah, this helps her slow down. She was struggling before with bossiness. She wasn't she wasn't keeping friendships. And because she would be too pushy and too bossy, and she'd get in fights with her sister all the time, and
Right.
and now she has great relationships. She's incredibly caring and thoughtful, and which she was before too, but it's enhanced a lot since she started taking medication. It's crazy. It's a complete 180 from the kid she was before. Like, I couldn't
Right.
get her to listen to me before, because that's partially my fault by guilty parenting. After I got them back, I did it bad.
'Cause
But
you didn't want them to not like you kind of thing.
yeah, and I mean, when I did see them before, I would spoil them because I'd only get 4 hours a week with them.
Yeah. Has to be,
So yeah, then she would walk all over me, and that's why I got stressed out and ended up doing heroin. But now it's like I have a mini Xavier in girl form. Xavier still gets annoyed by her, but he was the exact same way when he was her age. So
Right. That's funny. But that's good though. I mean,
yeah.
of course.
Now I just got to get Journey to stop being psychotic like her father.
Yeah.
She gets upset or overstimulated, and she tries to hurt me. Like, she'll hit me or like try to
How old is
scratch
she
me. She's gonna be 4 in February.
So she's getting to a more active
Yeah.
age too, and
Yeah, and when she was a little bit younger, like a year ago or so, she's finally broke of it. Thank goodness. But I had to buy her like bracelets and necklaces for biting because she would bite herself when she'd get mad.
Like self-harm.
Yeah. And her dad does the same thing. He punches himself in the head.
I've heard of a lot of kids that actually do that. They will self-harm.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Younger than you think, too.
Right. And also, she's just like her father in the way that if she's getting in trouble, she changes the subject. I'm like, what the hell? Why did you really... Why did you get these shitty-ass traits from him?
It's so funny. My mom, as a kid, she knew right away when I was lying or, trying to get out of being in trouble or whatever. It's just so funny.
Every time I would get in trouble and I would lie, I would be able to have a straight face. But when I was telling the truth, that's when I would laugh.
That's kind of how I was, too.
And I would get in so much trouble and I didn't even do anything because I would laugh and... Yeah. But when I was lying, I could be like, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I did not.
I would always
That is funny.
be like yawn or stretch or whatever, but I didn't
You have
do
a
that,
towel.
Mom.
He has a towel. Like,
Yeah.
JJ yawns, you can't trust him.
Yo.
That's funny. So, I was telling you earlier a little bit about, once again, we're back here talking about the dangers of Delta 8 products.
Yep.
So, I seen that more products have been found to have foreign substance and additives.
Metals, all that.
So, 3 companies, I'm going to read it because I'm not going to mess it up. So, it's GCHNC LLC, Elysia Enterprises LLC, and Gate City Hemp in Greensboro, North Carolina. They were all issued a warning on September 28th after a review of their website found that 11 Delta products had additives and foreign substances. It's ridiculous what goes on with Delta.
It doesn't surprise me, man.
I had just
agreed with it, everything.
But what bothers me is it's companies that people are trusting with the real THC in the legal states. Think about some of the companies that you see. Like, I'm not going to name any, but when you go look at them in the store, it's the same big label companies. So that's what bothers me is those companies are willing to take shortcuts because they can. Like,
Right.
I seen one report that says that Delta 8 is basically the Russian roulette of cannabis. And I believe it. I would say it is too, because if you take edibles or vape, you're likely taking in foreign substance too.
Yeah.
It's frustrating and it just angers me that it's even out there. They want to push and hate on THC, but then they're going to allow this product to continue. It's basically spice. It's spice from years ago.
And
Right.
it's
What was that? It was something in a lab that they sprayed stuff on. People didn't know what it was. People had weird side effects, and that's what's happening now. The poison
Serious
control
side effects,
calls
yeah.
have spiked since
Crazy.
Delta.
Like, I've seen people go freaking crazy on some K2. I mean, I've seen people seize and puke and almost die.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen people go... Well, I haven't personally seen it because I wasn't in jail, but... There was a guy that was in jail just a few months ago that somebody had sprayed K2 stuff on a piece of paper and sent it to him, and he ate it, and he literally went psychotic.
Oh, that stuff's crazy. The times that I've tried it when it was legal, I hated that stuff. The way you feel when you're on it is just terrible. You feel paranoid.
I never tried it, thank God.
yeah, it's
Oh, it is not. Man, for a while, we were really getting into it because it was legal, and they used to have these websites where it was buy one, get one free, and then they would send you like 5 samples. So every time you make an order, you'd get probably 8 to 10 jars that had at least 3 grams each in them for like $30-$40. And it all tasted like blueberries and every other flavor, but it was not okay. Like, looking back, I'm so glad I didn't do that very long. Same with Delta. I'm so
they took it
glad
off the
I didn't do that very long.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did Delta for 2 months and really quick got away from it. Learned that it's not good for you. It's really bad. Just stay away from it. You're better off just to do regular weed THC than risk smoking Delta.
Yeah. Yuck.
I will always advocate against it. It's how I feel.
me too, man.
I have no trust for it from what I've seen on the boxes, and they even on the box you can scan it and it'll take you to a lab, but the lab is a lie. It's not fully what is in there. So if you can't trust it, you can dig deep, but you don't know what you're actually using.
That's the scariest part about everything.
And think
People
about
can
edibles.
lie about what they put in anything.
Like edibles with foreign substance and additives. I don't want to put something in my body, like eat it in my stomach, and FDA has not approved it. We don't even know what it is. You know?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, even some of the stuff the FDA does approve, we shouldn't be putting in our fucking bodies.
I agree.
So I don't trust it. The FDA means like, I think it's hilarious how they're okay with all these synthetic drugs, but any vitamin the FDA does not approve of, or it's ridiculous.
It is really messed
Because it's
up.
competition. It's all about money comes first.
Right.
Tom McDonald said, "There will be no cure for cancer because every customer cured is a customer lost."
Yep.
Well, yeah, we were discussing it at the clinics too. How don't they get more money for the people that come every day than they do for the people that have take homes?
Everything
That's
is
why
a
it's
business.
so hard.
Yeah, capitalism, man. And I'm not saying like I'd rather have capitalism than communism, obviously.
Of
But I'm
course.
just saying like there has to be an ethical way of. I just everything is a business.
It is. It is. And
Everything.
it's
Marketing.
even how this conversation started was discussing people and people selling out and how people don't have passion for stuff anymore. Like people are quick to sell out for money. This too, businesses will sell out for money the same way.
Mm-hmm.
They will put a bad product out to make $1 million if they can.
And they don't, and because it's legal to do it that way, they feel like their guilt is.
And that's the
wiped
worst part
clean.
is they find all these lawyers and these people who find all these legal loopholes and they can just walk their way right through all this stuff. And when they comes time to get in trouble, typically they might pay a fine or whatever, but then it just continues.
The Sackler family, the one that invented OxyContin.
Mhm.
If you watch the dope scene,
Yeah, I've seen that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's disgusting. But they
Did
have
you
to
see that?
answer to
Mm-mm.
God.
What's
You
it
should
called?
watch
Dope
it.
Sick?
Yeah, it's on
But
Netflix.
they have
Okay.
to answer to God at the end of the day for what they did. They're worth $11 billion, and it is proven because of that drug. That's the reason why there's the fentanyl epidemic today.
Yeah.
And even beyond that now.
They convinced doctors that less than 1% got addicted to it.
That dope sick, the doctor that gets addicted in that
Yeah,
is
all of it's a true
one of
story,
the
too.
greatest depictions of how addiction can happen to anybody in a like docudrama that I've seen.
Yeah.
Right.
And it all started in that West Virginia coal mining
Right.
town.
Yep.
Within the first month of that drug coming up, pharmacies
One of the greatest
were being
scenes
broken
is,
into.
I'm gonna give you a little spoiler, I'm sorry, but
That's okay.
is in the end of the movie when he's in the program and the guy from that
He was
the
one of
rep
the-
for the opioids comes to visit him and they're talking and he says, "Hey, do you have any more samples?" And he's already been going through hell of addiction and everything. This is in the end.
He was in rehab.
In the
doctor
rehab
was.
center asking the rep who doesn't have anything. He's just like, "Can you get some more of them samples?" And it's like, that is addiction right
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Like that
Yeah.
is a great scene to really put it across what addiction is.
It
Right.
never leaves you. Once you get addicted, it's there for life.
Well, I feel like we're born born with addiction. Everybody is addicted to something. We literally even as a baby, kids get obsessed over one specific blanket or stuffy
Sugar.
or
You
whatever.
ever seen that where a baby or a toddler gets sugar for the first time? They
Yeah.
go crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Have you seen
Yeah.
the ones where they drink soda for the first time?
Yeah.
Those are great too. Yeah, those are. I don't even remember the first time I had soda. I know it was young.
I don't drink soda at all.
I don't
Not
remember
now,
the first
really.
time I
drink
had
Sprite
soda.
a little
I
bit.
can't even remember.
But I
last
do
time
remember
had
the
a soda.
the first time I had a beer
Yeah.
because it was July 4th and when I was 4 years old. My dad gave me a shot glass of beer and I puked all over our bathroom when
no.
we got home.
That's not good.
Mhm.
See, I don't remember the first time I did some of that stuff.
But definitely don't remember my first soda.
Not my first whiskey, anything like that. But now I don't. I drink a Sprite or something, but I'm not. Soda's too sugary for me.
Yeah.
I can't.
I live on
It's like
Dr. Pepper.
syrup
It runs
now.
through my veins. Dr. Pepper.
See, dark sodas really make my teeth gritty. I hate that.
Yeah,
When you
and
can
they're
like
bad.
grind your teeth and it's sugar, like no.
Dark soda is also very bad for your knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your joints or just your knees?
Your
Sugar
knees.
is so bad for your body in general.
When I was in basketball in high school, that was one of the rules for us girls was that we were not allowed to drink dark soda
Yeah.
because of how bad it is for your knees. And I mean,
Right.
we were weightlifting and everything else, so they didn't want us to mess it up.
So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about suppression in a program. Did you just had Suboxone in the program, right?
Yeah.
So did you ever feel suppressed when you were on Suboxone, or were you pretty balanced?
In the beginning, I did. I mean, it got better once I was on a specific dose for a while. But I mean, it was all over the place when I first started. But when I started, I had 10 days sober when I started Suboxone.
Right. So
So-
did you feel it?
So the first day I did, but every day ever since I haven't.
That's that's how methadone is too. The first day or two, but then after that, it's left.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's
It'll still makes
Suboxone
you like
opposed
nod.
to methadone.
Oh my
though,
gosh.
is totally different.
right.
When I
that's-
first
yeah.
got on it, I went all the way up to 16. Or no, 21, I think. And I was falling asleep when I was driving. They actually made me, do you remember? They made me sit there for
Yeah,
3 hours because
That was just from the Suboxone suppression.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I was in a meeting with my social worker, and I think it was family treatment court, actually. And I was falling asleep on the Zoom call.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
Okay. Wow.
Yep. So once I went back down, I'm pretty sure it was 16 or maybe 12. I don't know, but one of the two. And then I was fine. But I definitely, I mean, now I only take 4 milligrams. If I take any more than that, I'm out. Out.
Well, right, because even with methadone, even on a low dose, you still feel suppressed. You know,
Yep.
like, can you speak on being on methadone and suppressed in a program, like what that's kind of like? Because it's not like you're high or anything. It's like
Well-
a true suppression of your body and mind.
I could sleep whenever, I would lay my head down. I'm just not numb anymore, Like, I feel everything.
Right
And
now,
I'm still getting used to that.
right. So, but when you were in the program, like describe like how that suppression felt, because it's not like a high thing. It's a
Just.
But it's
the way it suppresses your mind and body.
You feel better. Like even still today, if I don't feel good, 9 times out of 10, it's because I didn't take Suboxone that morning.
Right, but I'm talking about the actual suppression of like your body and mind because of the medication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Not feeling good part.
Here's
but
the biggest
actually
part,
being
too.
suppressed.
Is how, it's controlling my anger.
Right.
Like minor, road rage, like just minor things, like someone honking their horn, when.
Yeah, you do get triggered easier.
Yeah,
you
you
don't-
notice that.
Like, did you
I
notice that
get
your
irritable.
feelings were suppressed on Suboxone?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, definitely. I get irritable on opiates in general. So, but I was really bad in the beginning. I've gotten a lot better because I've taught myself a lot, how to control it. But I would get snap on my mom for something, and I didn't need to,
Right.
like I would just get irritable over the tiniest little shit.
opioids do make people edgy for some reason.
The
Even
first
that
day,
euphoria.
if I do them, the first day, I'm totally fine. But if I do them another day, I'm a bitch,
It
dude.
is weird how you have a euphoria, but yet you still are like, get off me, dude. Like,
I never got that when
Really?
I was using, but when it would wear off, I would get extremely.
calm down.
Yes, I would get very, very, very
So now, can you compare benzos to opioid suppression? Because when I took like Ativan and stuff, that really, I didn't notice I was suppressed until like a week or two into it. I
It's like your
noticed how
nerves are on
my,
vacation.
yeah, you have no emotions with that either, really, though. So, like for you, how does that benzo compare to opioid with the suppression?
You know, when you like worry about, basically the best way to explain it, you do not sweat the small stuff.
Right?
You know, and I've, one of the biggest things too now not being suppressed is health anxiety.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I
especially
bet.
after what I've been
Yeah.
through with, you know, family having, you know, health
So
scares and everything, it's,
I did not think about that one because so really like worrying about your health more that you're not,
yeah,
your emotions aren't so suppressed. That
I'm, you know, getting physicals constantly, not really, not constantly, but
I know what you
more
mean
than
though. Like,
usual.
yeah.
Really, like I've lost, like, you know, 30 pounds since I came off it. Um,
But you're losing weight because you want to though, right?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
because you're not on accident or anything.
No, both. It just because when I was
But I
like,
mean,
I
it's
didn't
not an
care.
unhealthy weight loss.
I was no, not at all. I feel great
Right.
about that. I'm very, very happy about that. Like when I was on methadone, I would get these sugar cravings, and I didn't give a shit. I was like, dude, I don't. You know, I'm doing what I want. You know.
Did you get that on subs? I get sugar cravings
Yeah.
bad on methadone.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
eat. Well, see, I go through stages of what I eat, but it was always some sort of a cookie. Now it's peanut butter, caramel, and cinnamon mixed together.
Well, peanut butter's not too bad for you. I
It
guess
actually
depends.
If
messes
it's
up my
mixed with
stomach.
caramel and cinnamon and you eat it every freaking day, it is.
Yeah, and
I've eaten it
that's-
every day for months now.
Did you ever have a hard time getting through emotional situations when you were suppressed, like not being able to feel emotions properly?
You know, I'll tell you this: when I withdrawed at home for those 3 weeks, I was talking to somebody on the phone and I sobbed like a baby. Like I cannot. I don't know when the last time I had ever cried like that.
Really?
Like, and I mean, you know that like when you're crying so hard you cannot even catch your breath, like
Mm-hmm.
that.
And I don't think you can do that really if you are suppressed. Not that hard, anyways,
No.
because you can't
Right.
feel that deep.
No, you
Mhm.
can't. It. That's the thing with these painkillers, methadone, everything, is that it suppresses your emotions just as much as your physical pain.
Yeah.
If not, I think it, in my opinion, it
Probably more.
suppresses them more. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to discuss this because when I realized how much my emotions are suppressed because of opioids like methadone being in a program, it makes a big difference on your
And that's
life.
great that you realize it because I talked to other people on it and I could see that they've been on it so long that they just don't realize how suppressed they are. They just have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And their addiction will tell them, well, you know, this is normal. No, you have to go through those emotions. You have to figure out why you want to use in the first place and numb those emotions.
Right. One of the big things one of the times I really noticed it was back in 2017. A little bit before me and Ash broke up, we were getting into a fight, and she said, "You don't have the fight and to fight for love and stuff anymore like you used to." And I knew that I still loved her the same. Like I didn't want to be with her any less at that point, but I was on methadone in a program, and I didn't feel like not at all. And when you feel like that, fighting with somebody in a relationship can be hard when you're suppressed. If you don't feel your emotions and you're just kind of dragging and whatever, you don't want to fight. You just want to chill. You're like, let's not fight, like
Yeah.
so that was when I started to realize how suppressed you are, and since then it's just really been something I'm aware of, and then going through post-acute withdrawal and then going back into the program to get rebalanced and taper again, it just, you really become aware of that suppression.
Mm-hmm.
And I get really, really like, there's people that are on methadone that try to like give me advice and everything like that, and it's just like, dude, we are on two totally different, you know.
The advice I hear people giving isn't advice that I'd want to be taking.
No,
That's
Right.
what I can
and
say.
there's that old saying like, don't ever take advice from somebody that's like in a worse situation. You know what I mean?
For
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
The person that's on like 260 milligrams trying to tell you what to do at like 100.
Right.
Like,
or just
it's like, no.
that delusion level that
Yeah.
where they're on this medication, that medication, and super high thing of methadone,
Right?
but yet they say they're sober.
Yeah.
Nope.
No,
Yeah.
that's not. I don't even say that treatment is sober fully. You're still on something.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's a medication, it's a damage control balancing medication, but you are still on a medication.
No.
Right.
And I always just say, well, just go. Let's see you go 5 days without it. and
I
then
always
we'll
say
talk.
I'm sober from hard drugs
Right?
because I still smoke pot and I still drink here and there, and you know, and I'm on Vyvanse and Suboxone, so
Well,
like
at least you're honest about it. Like I said, and there's so many people that will hide that and just be like, yeah, I'm 100% sober.
right,
you
yeah.
know?
I still alter the way I feel sometimes.
Has it been challenging to advocate for yourself though and express your needs with this stuff, with being at, you know, a program and everything? Because sometimes it can be really hard to express what you really need too.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, because you got to watch what you say too. You know, you don't want to get your shit fucked up.
Oh, I
You
know what
know?
you mean, for sure. You have to watch what you say.
Right. Although my doctor for my Suboxone and my Vyvanse, she's literally amazing. Like,
Well, and this whole you know, and I was very pessimistic. I've said horrible things about doctors. No, there's so great doctors out there.
Right.
You know?
yeah, my behavioral care doctor is absolutely amazing. Like, I'm pretty sure I told you this already before, but 2 years ago, around Christmas time, when I failed my drug test for coke, and she put me back on weekly, and that meant that I didn't have however many to get rid of.
Right.
So I literally broke down and started crying in her office and told her, like, that was money that I was that was going to be money for me to buy Christmas presents for my kids, and now I'm not going to be able to. And she sat there right with me and, you know, talked me through it.
That's crazy.
She didn't freak out, but she had told me in the beginning, because I was bringing my box,
Right.
my lock box with all my things in it and everything, and she's like, I'm not gonna, like, you don't need to bring that. I'm not gonna check it. She just said, her exact words were, if you're getting rid of them, at least you're keeping somebody else off the needle.
Right.
So,
That is true. I mean, it's weird that I guess someone in that position might say that, but it is true.
I heard it. Yeah.
yeah, it is. And I like doctors who are like that, who are, you know,
They're not
More down to earth.
stupid.
Right,
They're
and they-
actually they look at the statistics.
right, and they, you know,
you
they
cannot
find
die
out the
from-
situation that is at hand and actually work with it instead of being like, oh, just give you this drug and get out of here.
Or just
Right.
say, nope, I'm not doing anything. You have to completely cold turkey everything and just tough it out. Yeah, look at the statistics for that. That's going to end
Yeah.
up making somebody go out in the street and find that
I was
something that's
actually
laced with
just
fentanyl, and it really pisses me off.
Yeah, I actually wrote about this for a paper in school the other day about the difference in clinics and how people, when they get kicked out of one, they might have to go far to another one to dose, and every day, like, people really don't understand
And they
what
don't-
people are going through out
a
here
lot
to
of the
go through these
counselors
programs.
Right.
just don't care, or they just don't understand that we have to jump through all, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. the way
It's just all comes back to the beginning of this conversation about people not having passion for what they do anymore.
Exactly.
you
It is
know?
amazing how this whole thing keeps coming back to the beginning
Right.
of that. Like,
It
Just
it does too.
empathy seems to be, and I think since the whole, in 2020, when the whole world went in lockdown for what, 2 years, was it?
pretty close.
Right?
The absolute antisocial behavior, and I think that also affected how people, empathy,
Mm, for sure.
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's scary too because not having empathy is a sign of being psychotic.
Yeah, I don't want to be around anybody that's like a sociopath that doesn't have any form of empathy.
Right.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I don't at all. I can,
Have you been like I'm curious, have you been noticing like any like weird nerve issues
Bad.
in pause?
Oh, bad.
Like
dude.
and especially
Nerve
this far
pain,
in.
Nerve pain. I get shaky.
Yeah. 'Cause I know that you're
carpal tunnel. I feel like I have carpal tunnel. Like my left hand goes numb a lot.
like mine, man, I can't even begin how my
neck.
nerves were when I was in pause. Like, so that's why I'm curious. Like, especially with you doing as much as you're doing right now, like, how are like your nerves have to just be going crazy.
Sore.
And the insomnia. I've really realized is how mentally strong I am.
There has to be like some supplements though.
Oh, yeah.
That can battle.
Magnesium. Yeah,
Like you should be in there all day just researching.
Oh,
like,
I am.
Right.
This and this
I
and
am.
this. Like, what can I take? How does this interact? Like,
So
you gotta create.
they
you
have
should
sort
create,
of
like,
a-
regimen.
Iron levels too is a sign of insomnia too, also.
yeah,
And a lot of people are deficient in not only magnesium and iron.
yeah, I have low iron too. I just asked my doctor to give me one, but my ex did a gene test at the doctor,
Yeah.
and they could find out what medications he can take, which ones will work for him, and which ones won't work for him. I actually just emailed my doctor the other day and asked her if she could do one for me when I come in next week. So
That's awesome.
they should make one that is like, I mean, if they can do that, they should be able to tell what you are low in and what you need more of and everything.
But
Right.
that goes back to, then they're going to start losing clients from, getting the right vitamin intake.
True. Yeah.
And that's not always that way, I'm sure, but I'm just saying.
Right. Are you able to take instructions and stuff and like function well at work and like
it's
work with the computers and stuff
this
like
is what's
without
funny,
issues,
man.
or are you like having that cognitive?
It took me a little bit too, because I've been out of high school now for so long that working the cash register, it's not like that, like doing your own math in the head and
Well,
everything.
and when you're in pause, your cognitive ability gets so messed up that
Yeah.
it slows you down even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I was thinking about with everything you're
That's
doing.
why like my boss was so cool, man. He was,
yeah,
like,
he's like
patient.
working with you to help
Yeah.
you make sure you learn it.
And we're so short staffed there. Like my very first day, I had to open and close.
Yeah,
I remember texting you before that. I was like, dude, how am I
right.
gonna do this? And
Like outside of pause though, do you feel like you've had any long-term changes to your health, like physically or mentally?
the
Like,
insomnia.
do you think that
Insomnia
you're-
is the number one thing, man. Because
Yeah.
our bodies need rest, and I just can't rest like I used to.
even this far in, you're just not getting sleep. Like,
No.
Have you tried melatonin?
Yeah,
Oh, I've tried everything.
yeah.
Everything under the sun.
Probably
Yeah.
tried to smoke at night. Everything else, like,
Yeah, it's just that's why I'm so happy when I met with a new doctor and he got me into the neurology so quick.
Yeah.
And doing a sleep study.
And I'm someone who actually, I don't think that marijuana really helps you sleep. I think it's something
No, I
that
think
makes
it-
your brain start going and you're thinking. I don't really think it helps you sleep.
Yeah, and I
think when you come down later and pass out, but just going to smoke and then go to bed, I think you're hindering your sleep.
yeah.
That's just how I feel.
Yeah, probably.
Because like today is my first day off in 12 days, so I'm definitely
Mm-hmm.
Gonna try to rest as much as humanly possible.
Right?
Eat healthy. I've been drinking tons of water.
I've been drinking more water lately too. I'm usually milk or Dr. Pepper is like all I put in my body.
And,
One thing that to do to get if you don't get enough water is just when you get up, first thing you do is go pour yourself the biggest glass of water you have and drink the whole thing quick, and now you just got a big water intake to start your day.
Yeah, I usually
I've been
grab a
doing
bottle of
that.
water
It
every
really
morning.
helps. But make sure you get it down right away.
Yeah,
'Cause
within the first 30 minutes of waking up, you're supposed to, and then 30 minutes, within 30 minutes before you go to sleep, you're supposed to drink another one.
So I've been just chugging a nice big glass right away to start my day when I take my morning probiotics and stuff before I go have a coffee or whatever else I'm gonna do.
Yep. And I do notice that it does help.
Whoa.
That's my alarm telling me I gotta start wrapping up work,
Cool.
even though I'm not at work.
It's all right. We're coming to a close, so no problem.
I mean, I'll just leave.
Well, it's funny because we are actually coming to pretty close
Yeah.
to the end here. So, what were you saying?
I don't know.
Oh, geez. Now your phone ruined it.
Damn phone.
Well, I guess we can jump into. Do you have anything else you want to add today, JJ?
No, just it's Christmas time. If it's what's really cool is this is my first sober Christmas in a long while.
Without
Yeah,
being
my
in a
first sober
program?
Christmas was awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Well, especially after the last couple of years I've had with just
Mm-hmm.
got through everything with the kitchen sink at me. And,
Right.
and I truly am a firm believer in God only gives us enough that we can handle.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this Christmas season.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for being here today.
Always, man.
Sam, anything you want to add?
No.
No?
Stay sober over the holidays. I know it's hard sometimes.
Yeah,
People
it
go
is.
through
The drinking,
depression and yeah, especially the drinking because for some reason it seems like that's a requirement on Christmas in some families,
Wisconsin too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. As hard as it is to stay sober, you'll get through the holidays. They'll be done soon. And I mean, in Wisconsin, it's been pretty nice out for frickin' November, December. So
Yeah, it has been lately.
yeah,
Yeah,
we better.
not like last year.
Right.
Well, the Farmer's Almanac said that we're gonna start flip flopping. So we're gonna start getting warm all the year long, and the South is gonna start. And
That'd be nuts.
I heard it was snowing in Hawaii.
2 weeks ago when it was maybe like a week and a half when it was real nice out, my cousin posted on Facebook in Rio Doso, New Mexico, and there was probably an inch of snow on the ground. And it was still snowing, big, huge flakes. So maybe they're right. Farmer's Almanac has been pretty good every year.
I hope so, actually.
I was going to say, yeah, because...
My brother just moved to Florida, so then he might move back.
See? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to move to Florida anyways. That thing's going to get tore off in a hurricane anytime.
Yeah, it's crazy down there, but they'll get through it. People are good at getting through them down there, I guess. So
Yeah.
I was down there after 1 month. It was wild. So, but yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe and make good choices for yourself and those around you.
Do your research.
Bye.